We are in the studios at Now Habersham in our beautiful new office that looks out into Clarksville Square. If you're ever walking by, take a peek in the window and we may be podcasting. I'm Nora Almazan, and now we're talking. We are here today with the multi-talented LeAnne Challenger. And if you don't know LeAnne Challenger, you've been living under a mushroom, because she is into everything. She acts, she sings, she directs, and she's here to talk about Habersham Community Theatre's latest production. It's coming out January 30th is the opening night, and it's called Failure, a Love Story. That's kind of an oxymoron, you know?
It is. And I think that's why a lot of people are like, what is this show about? It's the story of the three Fail sisters. Their last name is Fail. So there's Nellie Fail, Jenny June Fail, and Gertie Fail. And their parents were the Fail Bottoms, and they chopped their bottoms off when they came to America and became the Fails. They opened a clock shop in 1900 in Chicago, and that's where most of the story takes place, is in that clock shop. But it's a beautiful story about love and loss and family and connection with other people. And it all takes place in this whimsical story where people are inanimate objects. People are playing animals. It's very cool. And I hope everybody will come and see it.
Now, when you were talking before, you were talking about the grandeur of it all.
Yeah.
I mean, the beautiful costumes, the music, which if you guys don't know LeAnne, she has the most incredible voice. And I like to take a little bit of credit for it.
Yeah. You probably gave me my first solo, Nora.
I think I did. Going back, I think LeAnne was probably about 5 years old and blew us away with her ability to sing. I used to do little church choir. Was the director, and LeAnne was just phenomenal. And we all knew then how incredible she was going to turn out. And you have done just that. You've probably exceeded our expectations.
Oh, thank you. So in the show, I'm the only character that sings. I play the gramophone. So I play an inanimate object, but I'm still putting emotion and feeling into what I'm singing and how I move. But like I said, it all takes place in this very whimsical clock shop. And my character sings these beautiful standards, jazz standards from the 1920s. So I get to kind of play with my lower range where, with other shows, I tend to play the higher, high soprano roles. So this has been fun for me to kind of explore my lower range and to tell this, be a part of telling this beautiful story, because it's so beautiful.
Now tell me about who the cast is. Who are you playing with? I know director Jeremy Bishop.
So we have two directors, Lindsay Brackett, who is the drama teacher at White County Middle School, and Jeremy Bishop, who is our drama teacher with the Stage Raiders at the high school. They are co-directing this show because the show is so hands-on, and it's a group of, there's 19 of us in the show. So it's not a humongous cast. I mean, it's not a small cast, but Lindsay and Jeremy have picked a beautiful group of people. Some of us who've been on the stage for years, we have so many new faces as well. But there is a group within the show called the Chorus, and they're not singers. They're kind of like a Greek chorus or a narrator. And they honestly have the most to do in the show because they're changing who they are throughout the show. So at one point, one of the narrators will be just narrating and telling you, our audience, the story. The next scene, they may be a snake or a dog or a clock, a cuckoo clock or a grandfather clock. I'm thankful that my character stays the gramophone the whole time. I don't have to change. But the amount of people that we have, the chorus is so versatile. So it's a great group of young people and older people as well. It's all ages. And they really are the focus is as we tell the story of the Fail sisters. Now, of course, the Fail sisters are three beautiful girls who've all done theater with us. So that's Molly Cutshaw plays Nellie Fail. Zoe Simmons plays Jenny June Fail, the middleest sister is what they call her. And then the oldest sister is Gertrude or Gertie Fail, and that's played by Kylie Hammonds. And I've had the pleasure of working with all three of them before, so it's nice to get to work with them again. They all fall in love with the same man. And his name is Mortimer.
Oh, what a name.
And
okay.
Mortimer is played by John Mark Ivy. And he's had some roles in our theater when he was younger. He was in Oliver when he was a kid. Now he's 18 or 19, I believe. And he is so fun to watch on stage. And he deals with a lot of emotions throughout the show. He falls in love with Nellie first, the youngest daughter. And I'm not going to give it away, but some things happen throughout the show, and he ends up falling in love with each of the daughters throughout the show. And it's really beautiful to see the different relationships he has with the girls, the Fail sisters, and with the chorus, and how we help him move through the story and how we help the audience kind of feel like they're a part of the story rather than just sitting there and watching it with us.
Now, is this something that's good for the whole family?
I'd say there is some talk of like death and things like that. So I would say a 10 and older. If you have a mature younger kid, I'm sure there just is talk of death. So I wouldn't bring a little one. But it is a beautiful story. I feel like anybody would enjoy it of any age, but I would recommend, just because of the sadder moments of the show, a little bit older, maybe 8 and older, 10 and older. Just depends on the child, I guess.
And for you, this is by far not your first performance.
No.
Is it true you have been with the community theater for probably since you were about 9?
Yes, this is my 25th year.
That is amazing.
I was thinking about that the other day. My mom was like, you've been doing this for a long time. I started when I was little, when Bob Smith was directing at the theater, and I did like a musical review show with him. It was before we renovated the theater to what it is now. Of course, I did a lot of shows in high school with the theater, and then I went away to college and would come back and do like a summer show or do like a Christmas show with the theater, and then went away for grad school and all that stuff. And then when I came back, settled here, I got back involved probably around 2014, 2015. I got back involved with the theater, and now they're stuck with me. I've been here ever since.
What would you say of all the roles you've played? What would you say has been your dream role?
Oh gosh, that's a hard question.
Because I'm wondering if it was Big Fish.
Big Fish was a big one for me. That was 2021. I was not feeling my strongest as an actress. And I was like, you know what? I really miss performing. I was started to get into teaching, and my small business was kind of getting, comfortable. And I was like, I really miss being on the stage. Big Fish was a big one for me. Just the emotional aspects of that show, and playing Sandra Bloom with all the sadness and beauty that comes from that show. For sure, that was a special one for me. I would say that one, and this past year doing Pirates of Penzance. Operetta is my favorite. And I don't get to do it very often because there's not really opera around here. I went to college for that. And so to get to do it and bring that to our community was so cool.
It was incredible. So cool. What do you think about community theater? What do you believe its importance or its impact for the community is?
Oh, it's so important. And that's why I continue to stay involved. And our theater is, not every small community has this. And to have one that's thriving, and we're able to bring things like Gilbert and Sullivan operetta to our small community. Most people don't even know what that is. And they come to see our show, and it opens their minds up to something new. I think it's so important. Our community is already such a wonderful thing in Habersham County. But when you put the community theater side of it, it's people not just from Habersham. You've got people from White County, Hall County, Stevens County that come and do shows with us, and their connection with our theater and I would say most people that do things with us have a great experience and they love it and they want to do more. I've made lifelong friends throughout this theater. And I think not having this outlet would be so sad. And it's so beautiful that we get to share our love for art and performance and maybe let our community experience something they normally wouldn't through coming to Habersham Community Theatre.
I agree. And the theater is set in such a beautiful location.
It is.
It brings such history back to life.
Yes.
And you have all the restaurants. I mean, it amazes me the talent of so many people that are in our area. Why do you think that is? I often go to the theater and I walk out of there going, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. How did that happen in such a small community?
You know, I don't know. I mean, I was talking to my granddad the other day, you know, you're talking about the history of the theater, and that theater has been there since the 1930s. And my granddad remembers he used to work there. It was a movie theater in the 1950s. And he was telling me, oh yeah, I sold popcorn, and my buddy John, he was in charge of ticket sales. And he was telling me all about, you know, and I was like, that just blows my mind that something has been here for so long. And it means so much to so many people. But I do think that there's something special about our theater and how new people can come in, like you said, or people can come watch our shows and be like, this is top tier. And,
right.
You know, we are all volunteers at our theater. We all do it because we love it. I honestly think it's our directors and our board at the theater are so good at nurturing young talent and getting new people involved. Once somebody comes to do a show, you know, they end up doing more with us. Like I said, with Failure, A Love Story, we have several new people who've never been on our stage before, and seeing them, you know, watch us, you know, figure out what works, what doesn't work, transitions, you know, that kind of thing is so beautiful. But, you know, I don't know. I think it's just Habersham is special. I mean,
I agree. And I've never left that theater where I didn't want more. Mm-hmm. And that is such a key, right? Mm-hmm. You didn't want it to end. You wanted to see more about it. Mm-hmm. I wish the walls could talk.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, there's so many cool stories. I'd love to do some sort of like deep dive into the history of the theater, and kind of figure out how it got to be, you know, a community theater instead of a movie theater, which is what it used to be, and who kind of spearheaded that. I think that's so interesting. And now I'm the VP of marketing. And
add to, she is definitely a Renaissance woman, because to add to her list. And you know, you haven't really told us about it, but you teach piano and music, voice, right?
So I do. I have Challenger Music here in Clarksville, and I teach kinder music classes and piano and voice lessons. And one of the best things about teaching voice lessons is preparing my students for auditions. So, and they want to come see Miss LeAnne in a show. So they'll come see me and they're like, I want to do that. Mm-hmm. And that's been really nice to watch them grow and decide, hey, I want to try this too. I had 7 of my students, vocal students and piano students, audition for the kids auditions we held this past weekend. And they were all cast.
That's fabulous.
And in different capacities, you know, some just wanted to do ensemble because they'd never done it before. And some were cast in lead roles and they've never been on stage before. And so it's so beautiful to be able to nurture that in my business as well as on the stage.
Because I really believe that you've instilled a lot of confidence in them.
Oh, I try.
And that's so important. Tell me, if I want to go and see this,
yes.
How do I get tickets? What are the dates, the times, all that good information?
So Failure, A Love Story opens January 30th, and we run for 2 weekends. So it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and a Sunday matinee for that weekend. And then the first weekend of the next weekend of February. And you can still get tickets. I don't know about our matinees, but I know there are still some tickets available for Thursday and Friday nights on our website at habershamcommunitytheatre.com. You can also call the box office and leave a message and tell them what day you want to come, what tickets you would like, and that number is 706-839-1315. I would say I would get them as soon as you can, because once the first weekend audiences come to see it, the second weekend sells out so fast.
Always.
Mm-hmm.
And I have noted that, you guys sell out pretty quick. So if you want to see this, and it sounds absolutely amazing.
It's really beautiful.
You definitely get your tickets. Is there a particular night that you think would be the best?
I don't know. I think Thursday nights and Friday nights are great because the cast is so excited for people to see this.
Mm-hmm.
Coming to that opening night would probably knock your socks off because we're just so excited. We're just like bubbling with anticipation for the show. I think any night you come is going to be great. It may be, a little different because we get more comfortable and we get more used to working with each other and the audience. But I do think that getting tickets soon is your best bet to see the show, because we are a small theater. I think we only have 104, 106 seats. Is that right? Something around there. So that's why our season sells out so quickly. Our tickets go so quickly. But when you have a show like Failure, a Love Story that people are less familiar with, I think that once they hear about it, they're going to get gone. But I definitely highly recommend to come see the show, not because I'm in it, but because of just the overall talent and the beautiful story that we get to tell.
Well, I recommend that they come to see it because you are in it, because you are an amazing, amazing actress and
thank you,
singer and person and everything else. Well, thank you.
Sure.
Thank you for coming into our podcasting studio and joining us today. Seriously, you guys, get your tickets. This is going to be a great production. And now we're talking with LeAnne Challenger.
Baby, dream a while, scheme a while, you're sure to find happiness. And I guess all those things you've always pined for. Gee, I'd like to see you looking swell, baby. Diamond bracelets Woolworth doesn't sell, baby. Till that lucky day, you know darn well, baby, I can't give you anything but love